Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. Customer repair here. Gentleman messaged me about buying a machine. He says, I have one that doesn't run. Can you look at it? So he came out and recognized the guy from last year. I had sold him this hyper tough machine. So I told him I'd fix it. What I believe his issue is I grilled him on fuel. He said he was just using regular 87 octane. I tell everyone to use non-ethanol. They don't listen, so he's back with this one. So I'll deal with the carburetor. I told him I'd clean the carb and get rid of the fuel. He said he already put new fuel in it, like turn this upside down, dump the gas out of the tank and put new fuel in. He said it would do the same thing, and I tested it here. It would start and then stall right away. So I'm guessing the water's already in the bottom of the bowl, and you've got to manually remove that to get that water out of the carburetor. So we'll mess with that. But this video's for Lawrence Carroll, who asked me a while ago how to mess with these chutes. There's several different chutes here that are spring loaded. This cheap hyper tough deck here is the same as this Poulon Pro deck. You can see the stamping here is the same. It's just painted black. The hyper crud is red. So this was a project I did a little bit ago. I put a Troy built good running engine on this Poulon Pro deck. So I'll show you how this spring is set up. And as I come across different units with malfunctioning springs, I'll show you. But I'll start off with the cheap units here. You can see the spring here is on top of the plastic, and here it's straight up and down vertical. So it kind of snubs up against the metal bracket here, straight up and down, and it's flat here. So I'll show you what I do to get this resprung. There's a metal rod here with an indentation. That indentation sits in this hole right here. As you can see, this one does. There's a little indentation in that rod. You're going to tap it through actually with a hammer all the way till it butts up against the bracket here, and then you'll have spring action. So the deal with him, he said he was cutting wet grass and it was clumping up here at the chute. So he said he knocked the pin out, and of course the spring action goes to dead zero. So we're going to hook this back up. I told him I'd do this and clean the carburetor and the fuel system. So let me get you back up here. I'll try to bring you down so you can see what I'm going to do. So basically, I'm going to line up the spring, as you saw on the Poulon Pro. I'm going to put pressure here, and then I'm going to take a hammer and knock the pin through the hole here on this side. So it takes a little bit of manipulation. I'm right-handed. I'm going to use my right hand to tap the rod through while I put pressure down on the spring apparatus. So let me get it all set up. I'm going to put the vertical into the spring here against the bracket, something like that. I'm going to put this flat end of the spring on top of the plastic. It'll take you a couple of times because this thing gets squirrely. So I've got some downward pressure on it. I'm going to use the palm of my hands to really give it some downward pressure. Like I said, sometimes it'll take you a few tries to get this lined up. Okay, so I'll just use my thumb and then start tapping the rod all the way through, kind of eyeballing it. Tappy tap. So we're into it now all the way to the end. The cutout for the rod is in the hole, and now we have spring action again. So before we did a little tappy tap, I could have taken my oil can and kind of put a little bit of oil here on the end to help us get through. So there you have it. There's other styles of trap doors. I'll take you around just to show you what I have or what's out there, and then we'll deal with those as I come across them. So you got the total blocking trap door because this has a bag. So there's this style. It's got one single 10mm bolt here holding it down. So these are boogers. When I get one that's unsprung, I'll show you how to do that. Then there's another side chute style here. The springs underneath. This is a two-holer on this bracket. It's got two 10s that hold this into place. So if we get one of these, I'll show you how to get that back into place. So a couple different styles I'm looking around. This Boland's, I've already showed you that style. Trap door on this one. Single 10 holding that. This is a double 10 on this one. And just a cheap with a fixed side chute, no spring action there. It's just held on with two bolts, same as this Boland's. So basically there's three styles with this spring action. No door on this one because it's a bagging unit. Anyway, same thing here, two-holer. It's got two 10mm bolts here holding it to the deck. So I'll give you some videos as they happen on those if I get one that's sprung. But for this one, straight up and down on that end of the spring. This is flat on the plastic, and then just tap the rod. Line everything up and tap the rod through. Lawrence, hopefully this helps. Like I said, as I come across other spring malfunctions, I'll show you how to rectify those. So I told this guy it'd be about an hour. I'll send him a message when this Hyper Crud's ready. I kind of remember this one. It had some deck rust here in the front. I sold it to him cheap. Nice guy. Said it was working fine, except for when he went to start it here, it was starting and stalling. So we'll help him along, get him up and running, so we can do some grass cutting this afternoon. As always, appreciate you coming out to Tommy Time. Please like and subscribe. And as always, tip your waitress and wait staff. They need those generous tips to survive. They really appreciate you tipping generously. Have a good day today. Have a good afternoon, good evening, and come back and see me tomorrow. I'll throw another one at you.